God's advice today. Have you ever felt that God is trying to speak to you, yet in the busyness of life, His signs go unnoticed? This message invites you to pause, reflect, and open your heart. Perhaps this is exactly what you needed to hear today. Watch until the end with openness, and if these words touch you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell to receive more messages like this. Don't forget to check the pinned comment for a 1-minute prayer and a recommended message to help strengthen your faith even more. God said, "My dear child, keep silence within yourself, for it is in the silence that I breathe new life into your spirit and reaffirm that I am with you in every season, even in the most difficult ones, those in which you thought you were alone, yet my hand never stopped sustaining you. As it is written, be still and know that I am God." Psalm 46 verse 10. Today I ask you to rest your soul in me, for not one tear that fell from your eyes went unnoticed, not one whisper spoken in the dark was lost, not one hidden pain escaped my attention. I see what no one sees, I know what no one knows, I touch where no one can reach, and I restore what no one is able to restore. That is why I tell you, it will not be your strength that sustains you in this time, but my presence, which wraps your heart like a mantle of comfort, healing, and renewal. And today I reaffirm to you, with eternal love, that what seemed lost will be placed back on your path, what seemed dead will bloom again with double beauty, what seemed unreachable will become a living testimony of my power. So do not fear the darkness, my child, for even the darkness lights up when I arrive, and I have come to stay with you. Do you feel ready for a deep transformation in your life and in the lives of those you love? Sometimes all we need is a small step of faith to open the doors to abundance, peace, and the blessings God has already reserved for us. A simple 1-minute prayer can be the beginning of a spiritual journey that transforms the inside and reflects on the outside. If you wish to attract more light, balance, and prosperity, both spiritual and material, click on the first comment. There you will find a simple practice, guided with love, that can help you connect more deeply with the divine presence in your life. My child, come close to me with your truth, without masks, without pretending to be strong when your heart is already tired. For I do not reject the weak, I do not despise the broken, I do not withdraw from the one who cries out sincerely. And today I tell you, place upon me what is weighing on your soul. Tell me about that financial concern that keeps you awake at night, about that person you love and don't know how to help, about that constant fear that follows you like a shadow that refuses to disappear. Nothing you feel is too small for me, for I do not act moved by greatness, but by deep and eternal love. And when you choose to entrust even the smallest details to me, details you once thought insignificant, I begin to move the pieces your eyes cannot see. I prepare paths where you only see walls, I open doors the world tried to shut. And even though many believe asking is a sign of weakness, I affirm to you that asking is wisdom, surrender, spiritual maturity, because heaven only opens for those who open their hearts before me. And today, as I draw you into my embrace, I tell you that nothing you carry will remain on your shoulders alone, for I care for you, sustain your life, and guide your future. Comment with faith, I present my pains to God because He cares for me. My child, I want you to understand a profound truth. Your weakness has never been a problem for me, for it is written, my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 9. I do not work with human perfection, I work with spiritual surrender. When you come to me exactly as you are, tired, wounded, uncertain, confused, trying to hold together something you no longer have the strength to carry, that is when I can begin rebuilding you with more strength, more balance, and more purpose than before. Many made you believe you needed to show strength all the time, hide your tears, silence your pain, and carry a weight I never asked you to carry. Because of that, they distanced you from the rest I always wanted to give you. Today I tell you with love and authority, let go of control, my child. Release the burden of trying to fix everything alone, release the fear of appearing fragile, for I do not judge you, I support you. I want you to give me this heart that has been trying to survive on the edge, for I am ready to restore your joy, heal your deepest wounds, renew your strength that seems non-existent, and breathe new life into your soul that still has not fully realized how deeply I love it. Comment, I acknowledge that I need God every day. My beloved child, I see your inner struggle. I see when you try to smile while your soul calls for help. I see when you say, I'm fine, just to avoid worrying others, even when inside the weight feels nearly unbearable. That is why today I tell you, do not hide from me what hurts you. Bring me the name of the person who disappointed you, that relationship that wore down over time, that dream that seems to have been postponed indefinitely. Bring me that emptiness you cannot explain even to yourself, for nothing you carry is too much for me, and nothing you lived was irrelevant to my plan. Every pain you faced, every tear you shed, every battle you endured led you to this exact moment, where I begin a healing process that will not be superficial nor temporary, but total, deep, and definitive. I will not simply ease your pain for a moment. I will transform your story, restore your heart, reorganize your path, and cause a strength to rise within you that you never imagined you had. For the healing I prepare does not merely patch, it renews, recreates, and repositions your life for something far greater than what you lost. Did you know that there is an effective method to attract greater financial prosperity? This technique can help transform your deep-seated beliefs and change the way you perceive reality. It had a profound impact on my life, and we would like to invite you to explore this special practice. When we trust that God wants to act in our lives, we gain the courage to ask Him directly. God desires to bless each of us in a unique and wonderful way. That's why it's important to seek His blessings with faith and confidence, believing that He has a special plan for you. If you would like to support our work and the team dedicated to bringing content that inspires and transforms, we invite you to check out our product. The link is available in the first comment, so you can discover how this technique can also help you on your journey. Your contribution helps us continue sharing messages that make a difference. We deeply appreciate your trust and support. My son, remember the promise, call to me, and I will answer you. Jeremiah chapter 33 verse 3. I do not ignore your prayer, nor am I indifferent when you call upon me. Your cry has reached me repeatedly, and even when you do not perceive it immediately, I am already moving the waters in your favor. This is the time when the seed buried in the ground begins to break through the earth. What you planted with tears will be harvested with joy. I am activating connections, opening paths, undoing ties that held you back, closing doors that wounded you, and preparing doors that will lift you higher. Do not look at the delay, for the delay has purpose. Do not question the silence, for in the silence I strengthen your roots. You are not stuck, you are being prepared. Speak in faith, I believe God is working even when I cannot see. My son, I am reorganizing areas of your life that you once believed had no repair. I am entering your family story, your emotions, and those old wounds you hid because you thought speaking of them would hurt even more. Today I tell you, I touch where it hurts to heal you, not to expose you. I restore your identity, remove the guilt that no longer belongs to you, and take off the weight you carried for years as if it were punishment. My child, you are not the mistake you made. You are not the fall you experienced. You are not the label others placed upon you. I call you by your name, not by your past. I raise you to live not from memories but from purpose. Declare, I receive the healing and restoration God is bringing to me. My beloved son, as it is written, those who sow with tears will reap with joy. Psalm 126 verse 5. I have seen your hidden tears, and today I tell you, nothing you lived through was in vain. Every pain produced maturity. Every loss produced discernment. Every difficult night produced spiritual resilience. Now it is time for harvest. I am accelerating processes, anticipating answers, restoring what was taken, and multiplying what others thought was lost. You will enter a season where what once took years will now happen in months, and what seemed impossible will become a public testimony of my power. I will honor you where you were shamed. I will lift you where you were rejected. I will open paths where they said there was no way out. Declare, I believe God will turn my tears into joy. My son, prepare your heart, because I will not only solve problems, I will transform your vision, your posture, and your inner strength. What once knocked you down will no longer defeat you. What once paralyzed you will lose its power. I am training you spiritually while you pray, while you wait, and while you trust. I am placing a new peace inside you, a peace that does not depend on what you have or what you lack, but on the certainty that I am with you. Many will still look at you as if you were the same, but something within you has changed. Faith has grown. Your spirit has strengthened. Hope has risen again. You will become living testimony that my power works inwardly first, then outwardly. Declare, I receive the strength and peace God is placing in me. My beloved son, remember my promise, for I know the plans I have for you, plans of peace and not of harm, to give you the future you hope for. Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11. You were never an accident, you have always been intention. Even in your darkest phases, I was drawing invisible pathways, protecting your life, diverting attacks you never knew existed. You are work in progress, and I finish everything I begin. What was out of alignment will be corrected. What was locked will be opened. What seemed distant is being brought near. Do not walk by sight, walk by faith, for faith will take you places that logic never could. Declare, I believe in the future of peace God has prepared for me. My beloved son, this is the beginning of a new season over your life. Do not walk in fear any longer, for I walk with you. Do not pray as someone who begs, but as someone who trusts. Do not live as a survivor but as an heir. You are mine, and those who belong to me do not walk alone, do not lose without purpose, and do not suffer without harvest. I will take you to places where your voice will be heard, where your story will inspire, where your healing will reach others. You are not small, you are not late, you are not forgotten. You are exactly where I am preparing you to soar. My spirit guides you, my hand protects you, my love sustains you. Walk, my son. What comes next will be greater than everything you have ever asked for. Declare, I receive the new season God has released over my life. Close your eyes for a moment, my beloved child, and allow the quiet to wrap around your soul like a gentle mantle. This is where everything begins, here, in the sacred silence where heaven leans close enough for you to feel my breath. You have walked through long seasons believing you had to prove your worth, believing you needed to move with noise so that others would finally see you. But today I whisper into the depths of your being. The promise over your life unfolds in silence. I lift you without applause, I restore you without crowds, I strengthen you without spectacle. And at the appointed time, even those who doubted your calling will witness a grace so undeniable that they will have no explanation but my hand upon you. Now, in this intimate place, I invite you to release every illusion of control. Let your heart speak. Father, I surrender the need to prove myself. I surrender the burden of managing every detail. I surrender the shame that keeps me from asking for help. Come before me with your real story, with your wounds and your dreams. Allow your soul to rest. For from this moment on, every request you bring will not rise from fear or desperation, but from the confident trust of a child who knows he is loved, seen, and protected. There is a deeper work I desire to do in you, one that goes beyond today's concerns and touches wounds so old that you forgot when they started bleeding. You have carried disappointments that shaped the way you see life, the way you relate to others, and even the way you approach me. There was a time when you trusted someone with your dreams and they belittled them. You opened your heart to someone who should have protected you, and instead they shamed you. You shared your deepest desires only to be mocked. And without realizing it, you built walls, silent, thick walls, to survive. You convinced yourself that vulnerability was dangerous, that silence was safer. And because of that, you learned to come before me with caution. You pray, but with reservations. You ask, but expecting very little. You draw near, but your heart trembles, afraid of being disappointed again. Today I speak with tenderness. I am not like those who hurt you. My love is not conditional, not fragile, not based on your performance. My ears never tire of listening to you, even when your prayers repeat like echoes from the same wounded place. Come close without fear. I heal what others ignored. I restore what others damaged. I embrace what others rejected. When you bring your requests to me, you are not troubling heaven. You are not being too emotional, nor are you overwhelming me with your problems. I am the Father who bends down to hear even the whispers you're ashamed to admit. Nothing that affects you is insignificant to me. Because I love all of you, not just your strong parts, not just your victories, but also your insecurities, your doubts, your quiet fears. So in this moment, present to me the petitions you have kept hidden. Those that felt too small, too foolish, too embarrassing to mention. Tell me about the fear of ending up alone. Tell me about the weight of feeling like you may not give your family the life you dream of. Tell me about the frustration of not finding where you belong. Tell me about the battle with the same sin, with the same weakness, with the same cycle that makes you feel unworthy. Say it plainly, Lord, today I dare to bring everything before you, the great and the small, because I want to learn to depend entirely on you and not on my strength or on my plans. This is how trust grows, in honesty, in surrender, in letting me into the rooms of your heart that no one else sees. I want you to understand something deeper. Prayer is not merely a list of needs, it is a conversation that reshapes your inner world. As you speak to me, you also learn to hear me. So let your heart whisper, Father, I ask, but I also want to know what you desire for me. Many times, my child, you ask me to change your circumstances when what I first want is to change the way you see them. Because when your perspective is healed, the chains lose their power, the fear loses its grip, and even before the external miracle arrives, you are already walking with a confidence that cannot be stolen. Imagine that today your request is for meaningful work, for a door that leads to dignity, provision, and stability. I hear that request, and I am moving. But I also want to give you something deeper: identity. I want you to know that your worth is not measured by a salary, a title, or recognition. You are valuable because you are mine. Your purpose is not tied to a position but to my calling on your life. So when I open that door, you will not walk in as someone desperate for validation, but as someone who knows exactly who he is. This is the difference between asking in fear and asking in faith. Let my comfort flow over your thoughts like warm oil. People may credit your future breakthroughs to luck, timing, or hard work, but the truth is that I am orchestrating something so precise, so intentional, so supernatural, that even your enemies will have to acknowledge it. There will be shifts that no human could predict, a message arriving at the perfect moment, an unexpected opportunity, a person appearing in your life holding exactly the key you needed. But understand this: not all miracles begin outside. Most begin here, within the quiet work I am doing in you right now. Before I move the mountains, I strengthen your feet. Before I open the door, I prepare your character. Before I change your season, I anchor your identity so deeply in me that no blessing can become a burden. What I am building in you is not fragile. What I am preparing for you cannot be stolen. What I am shaping in you is eternal. And now, my beloved child, rest your soul in this truth: I am not in a hurry, but neither am I absent. I am not rushing, but neither am I distant. I move at the pace that protects you, the pace that matures you, the pace that prepares you for the weight of the glory I am placing upon your life. You think you are waiting for me, but often it is I who waits for your heart to unclench, for your fears to loosen their hold, for your trust to rise. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not forgotten. Everything I promised is unfolding, even in the silence. Especially in the silence. Your life is not collapsing, it is being rebuilt. Your dream is not dying, it is being purified. Your heart is not broken, it is being reshaped so it can carry more of me. Take a slow breath and place your hand over your chest. Feel the life beating inside you, that is my gift. Feel the longing that still lives even after everything you've experienced, that is my calling. Feel the endurance in your spirit, that is my strength. I am lifting you in ways you cannot yet see, healing you in layers you did not know were wounded, restoring you in places you thought were beyond repair. The season of hiding has not been punishment, it has been protection. The silence you feared was not abandonment, it was preparation. And the quiet rising you are about to experience will be so steady, so graceful, so undeniable, that no one will be able to attribute it to anything other than my hand. So let this truth settle deep within you: every request you bring to me matters. Every whisper is heard. Every tear is seen. Every fear is held. Ask boldly. Ask freely. Ask with the confidence of a child who knows his father listens. I will move for you, not because you have earned it, but because you are mine. Your story is far from over. In fact, what is coming will redeem everything that ever hurt you. Trust me. Walk with me. Speak to me. And let me show you that even in silence, I am lifting you higher than you ever imagined. In this quiet moment of surrender, breathe deeply and allow your heart to soften, for it is in humility to ask, to let go, and to trust, that the greatest transformations begin to take shape. Even when your eyes cannot see a single sign of change, even when the silence feels heavy, speak from your spirit: Lord, I believe you are working on my behalf. I believe you are moving pieces I cannot reach. I believe you are preparing a path where your glory will shine, even if I say nothing, even if I remain still. This declaration is not naive, it is courageous. It recognizes that faith often grows strongest in the unseen places, in the quiet spaces where God is moving without applause, without explanations, without needing approval from anyone. What you cannot perceive, heaven is already arranging. As you stand in this place of surrender and expectation, bring before God your home, your relationships, and every decision resting on your shoulders. Whisper gently, place your hand upon my home. Enter each room with your peace. Heal conversations that have turned into battles. Transform the cold silences into honest, safe, healing encounters. Ask Him to restore bonds that were broken by anger, distance, misunderstanding, or exhaustion. Ask Him to teach you how to apologize with sincerity and how to forgive with freedom. Invite Him to be the center of your choices, even those that seem harmless or promising in your own eyes. Tell Him, do not let me walk through doors that are not from you. I prefer a door closed by your love than an open one offered by my stubbornness that later destroys my peace. This kind of prayer is bold, because it admits that not everything you desire today will bless you tomorrow, and only God, who sees your entire story at once, truly knows what belongs in your life and what will only weigh you down. Before this moment of prayer shifts into its next movement, God invites you into a very concrete and transformative act, forgiveness. Perhaps you wonder what forgiveness has to do with your petitions. But the truth, deep and uncomfortable as it may be, is that many prayers remain stuck in hearts tied to resentment. Not because God refuses to answer, but because bitterness hardens your inner world and makes it nearly impossible to receive freely what He wants to pour out. Forgiveness is not approval of what happened, it is liberation from what is still happening inside of you. It is the cutting of a chain that has kept you anchored to pain. Take a breath and say, Father, help me forgive those who hurt me, those who betrayed me, those who mocked me in my moments of weakness. I do not know how to do this alone, so I bring you their names, their faces, their words. Heal my memory. Heal my heart. I no longer want to be tied to this wound. As you release, heaven moves. You will notice that as forgiveness flows, your heart becomes lighter, your breath deeper, and your petitions clearer. They become less mixed with the desire to prove yourself, to get revenge, or to justify your worth to those who doubted you. Instead, your prayers align with the will of God, a will that is always good, pleasing, and perfect, even when the process is uncomfortable or slow. But before this spiritual movement continues, God reminds you of something important. This journey does not end here. You are not walking alone. There is a space, a community of souls, learning to pray with sincerity, learning to heal step by step, learning to trust again. If these words have touched the deep places of your life, if you feel seen and understood in ways you did not expect, consider staying close. Not simply as a viewer, but as someone who chooses a spiritual refuge where prayers are lifted for you and with you. Every day, there is a message waiting to remind you that God is still moving, even when everything seems paused. If you choose to stay connected, do so not out of habit but as a gentle step toward belonging, a choice to walk with people who carry hope in their voices and faith in their hearts. And if something in you wishes to go even deeper, to open a small window of your story, leave a word, a sentence, a confession of why you needed this prayer today. Your story matters. Your wounds matter. Your victories and your hidden tears matter. You are not a number, you are a life with meaning, a soul with depth, a heart with battles that heaven sees. Even the prayers you whisper silently, the ones no one knows about, are being lifted before God with reverence and love. And now, as we continue in this atmosphere of surrender and petition, God speaks to a part of you that has long been burdened by guilt, the guilt of asking. Perhaps people have told you that you should only give thanks, that you shouldn't bother God with your emotional struggles, your financial worries, your desire for progress, or your longing for restoration. Perhaps you were taught that the holy should not mix with the practical, that faith should remain untouched by the realities of life. But today God breaks that false separation. He reminds you that He is the Father of your whole being, not only your spirit, but also your body, your emotions, your relationships, your work, your purpose, and the dreams you barely admit out loud. When you bring your petitions to Him, you are not reducing His majesty, you are inviting His presence into every detail of your existence. That is what He always wanted, not to meet you only when everything is perfect, but to walk with you through every step, every valley, every decision. Imagine now that you are sitting before the Lord with a notebook in your hands, the notebook where you wrote your concerns. Slowly, one by one, you begin to read them aloud. You ask for that opportunity you long for, the one that feels both hopeful and impossible. You ask for strength to break a habit that has been draining your joy and dignity. You ask for peace in a conflict that has followed you for years. You ask for healing over someone you love deeply. You ask for clarity for a decision that weighs on your future. And the Lord listens. He does not interrupt. He does not criticize. He does not mock your priorities or tell you your emotions are foolish. He listens with the patience of someone who has infinite time for you, with the tenderness of someone who knows every detail of your inner world. When you finish reading, He looks at you with a gaze that reaches the places you hide from everyone else and says, "I have heard every word. Nothing you said is lost. Nothing you brought to me is ignored. I am already moving in ways you cannot see." And in that moment, you realize that prayer was never about presenting perfect words. It was about presenting a willing heart. There are moments when heaven watches you more closely than you realize, moments when every whisper, every tired prayer, every sigh of your soul rises like incense toward the throne of God. Even when you think your words are small, heaven sees the intention behind them, the weight your heart carries, and the faith you still hold on to despite everything. This is why the enemy has fought so aggressively to silence your prayer life. He has tried to convince you that praying changes nothing, that asking is useless, that your voice has no effect beyond the four walls of your room. But these thoughts are not born from truth. They are subtle strategies meant to make you step away from the place where heaven bends its ear toward you. When you agree with these lies, you do not lose God's love, but you close the door He is always willing to walk through. Not because He withdraws, but because your hope withdraws from Him. Yet today, heaven calls you to rise again in spirit. Today, a new decision is being stirred within you, one that defies discouragement and awakens a deeper conviction. You are invited to pray again, not from desperation, but from confidence. To believe again, not because everything looks promising, but because the one who listens to you has never failed you. Even now, heaven watches not with fantasy or distant curiosity, but with tenderness, with attention, with genuine investment in your journey. So even if you do not see immediate results, you will keep praying. Even if nothing around you seems to shift, you will keep insisting. You will keep believing that God is at work behind the scenes, moving what you cannot move, opening what you cannot open, silencing what you cannot silence, and orchestrating what you could never orchestrate on your own. There is a kind of faith that goes beyond words, a faith that breathes trust, not performance. A faith that understands that prayer is not a ritual but a relationship. When you pray as a child who trusts the character of a father, rather than as someone who repeats empty sentences, something changes inside you long before it changes outside of you. And so today you declare, Lord, even if my situation looks the same, I choose to keep asking. I choose to keep trusting. I choose to keep seeking your presence. I don't want a faith built only on what I see, I want a faith rooted in who you are. This decision, small as it may seem, marks a turning point. It frees you from the slavery of immediate outcomes. It turns your eyes from the clock to the eternal. It teaches you to walk by conviction rather than by sight. Every sincere prayer leaves a mark in heaven. Every honest cry opens invisible paths. Every moment in God's presence becomes a seed planted in spiritual soil. And even when you do not yet understand, there are roots forming, growing, expanding beneath the surface of your life. Maybe you have felt like your life moves too slowly. You have watched others build careers, heal, grow, create, succeed, while you feel stuck in the same place, fighting the same battles, repeating the same steps. This comparison wounds you more than you admit. And God, who sees the depths you try to hide, does not ignore that pain. But today, instead of letting frustration harden your spirit or bitterness cloud your vision, He invites you to transform that anguish into prayer, to turn envy into surrender, to exchange anxiety for expectation. Because your story carries a timing that belongs to heaven, not to the calendars of those around you. So pray, Father, you know my seasons. You know how hard I've tried. You know how many times I wanted to give up and start all over again. Today I ask you to accelerate what must move forward and to delay what might harm me. Lift me from this sense of delay, but do it your way, at your pace, even if no one understands how it happened. When you pray like this, you are choosing divine progress over human shortcuts. You are asking not for a blessing born of your own strength, but for one marked by God's fingerprints. And blessings touched by grace always arrive without the scars of rushed decisions. They come without regret, without exhaustion, without chaos. They come in peace. They come with purpose. But to live in that peace, your mind must also be restored. Many of your battles are invisible to the world. They unfold silently within you, thoughts of failure, of fear, of shame, of hopelessness. Thoughts that insist that nothing will change, that no one understands you, that giving up would be easier than continuing to fight. These thoughts do not come from heaven. They come from the same voice that tried to convince you that prayer was pointless. But today, something holy enters the field of your inner battles. A petition rises before God's throne, clear, powerful, intentional. A request that your mind be renewed, your thoughts reorganized, your inner world restored. A request that the voices of condemnation be silenced and that a greater voice, the voice of the Holy Spirit, become louder within you. So you pray, Lord, shine inside my mind like light. Illuminate every corner filled with shadows. Teach me to think differently. Help me believe what you say about me and not what my past or mistakes have tried to shout. It may seem like a simple prayer, but it opens a vast doorway for God to transform you. When your mind is renewed, your steps follow. When your thoughts shift, your emotions begin to heal. When His voice becomes louder than your memories, you finally learn how to breathe again. As you continue this prayer, remember the promise that gives meaning to everything. God will lift you up in silence, and no one will understand how you overcame what you overcame. This is not because the process will be easy, but because the outcome will be undeniably divine. At the right time, you will witness changes that you cannot attribute to luck, strength, or skill. You will tell testimonies you never imagined would come from your own mouth, how you left that suffocating debt behind, how you broke free from habits that clung to you for decades, how a relationship you thought was dead came back to life, how peace settled in the very place where storms once lived. And when people ask, "What did you do?" you will know deep down that the answer is not about strategy, discipline, or intelligence. It will be a truth whispered from your spirit. God did what I could not. He did it in the nights you prayed when no one saw you, in the moments you cried silently, in the petitions you brought honestly before Him when you felt unworthy, tired, or small. You will see that the seeds you sowed in secret are blossoming in ways that only heaven could produce. Your journey will become a testimony not of luck but of fidelity, not of coincidence but of answered prayer. What is ahead of you is not the result of chance, it is the unfolding of a divine orchestration shaped by every moment you chose to kneel rather than quit, to ask rather than shut down, to hope rather than collapse. And now God seals something sacred over your life, the certainty that you have never been forgotten. You may look back and see a trail of failed attempts, unfinished plans, and relationships that broke along the way. You may interpret this as divine neglect. You may believe that your name sits somewhere at the bottom of heaven's priority list. But that is not the truth. The truth is that God never lost sight of you. Your timeline has not been ignored. Your tears have not been dismissed. Your prayers have not vanished into the air. Heaven has been writing a story far deeper than the disappointments you've experienced. Every quiet season had purpose. Every delay had intention. Every closed door had protection behind it. And so God lifts your face now, not with reprimand, not with disappointment, but with tenderness. He looks into your eyes and speaks gently, "I never stopped watching you. I never let go of you. You were never outside my reach. Even in your worst decisions, I pursued you. Even in your darkest days, I stood at the door of your heart and knocked. I stayed, even when you were convinced you were alone. I waited, even when you walked away. I whispered, even when your world was too loud to hear me." This is the foundation of why your prayer matters. You do not speak to a distant king. You speak to someone who has walked with you through every storm. Someone who has witnessed the nights you barely survived. Someone who knew the fragility behind your strength and the courage behind your tears. And because He has never lost sight of you, He will not lose you now. So as you stand at this turning point, this sacred moment where prayer becomes renewal and surrender becomes strength, let this truth settle deeply in your spirit: your story is not over. Your future is not behind you. Your prayers are not wasted. Heaven has always been more attentive to you than you have ever been to yourself. You are entering a season where God will prove, not through spectacle but through quiet, undeniable transformation, that He has been working all along. You will walk into rooms you once feared. You will see opportunities you thought were impossible. You will rebuild what you thought was permanently broken. And you will understand, not through theory but through experience, that every prayer you ever whispered was heard, honored, and stored in the heart of God. You will rise, not through noise, not through force, but through grace. And when people ask how you survived, how you healed, how you advanced, you will answer with a peace that carries the weight of truth. It was God, and it was prayer, and it was the quiet perseverance of a heart that refused to give up. Heaven has watched you every step of the way, and heaven will guide every step that follows. I hope this message has been an inspiration to you. If it touched your heart, write Amen in the comments and share it with someone who also needs to hear this word. I invite you to click on the first comment, where you will find a special prayer and a suggestion to strengthen your spiritual journey. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to receive more inspiring content like this. See you tomorrow.